Hello, everyone. My name is Treva Benson, and I will be talking to you from class EDC 604, Function of Theory and Play. So today I come to talk about, give you just some information on my critique paper. And the name of mine is Teaching Play Skills to Children with Disabilities. Research based on intervention and practices. So some of the play skills a lot of times children will have when they have certain disabilities. Sometimes they will experience mobility problems, which make it difficult for them to play games like hide and seek. Which is a typical game that most children play growing up. But for a child with a disability, this can be very difficult. So it's really important to know the aspects of the difficulty that they may be experiencing. So we may know how to intervene and be able to help those children that are having difficulties. Children with certain disabilities include cognitive disabilities. They can have sensory disabilities and speech and language disorders, and also they can have social interaction difficulties with their peers. So all this information is very vital in being an educator and being able to implement ideals and plans for young children. It's important to know how to do those things, and it's also important to know how to do things age appropriately as well. One of the things that I saw in the article that was very interesting to me was play dates that children with disabilities could have in order to have interaction with their peers, which was to give them a better experience. So a lot of time what you will see with artistic children, some of you probably have observed them and saw them, and I have as well, is a lot of time they tend to, be to themselves, and that's something that we don't want. They tend to be a lot of times in solitary play, and there often be a disconnect. So we want to be able to break those barriers and help that student to be able to connect and be able to develop the skills that they need. And a lot of times children with ASD, they have less symbolic play behaviors. In a way, I think that was very interesting to me because I never really just thought of it from that perspective. A lot of times I did see the lack of involvement or the lack of engagement, but I never really just thought of it as the lack of symbolic play. So it's many tools that we can use to help children with disabilities. Another thing, even something just as simple being able to just play ball or play catch or be into sports and stuff like that. Sometimes it can be difficult for them. Now, some children may excel in these different areas, but for some students, they may have difficulty doing these things. So they may have trouble, focusing on activities or focusing on certain objectives. So you have to find something that will engage them and help them, that's of interest to them, that will help them interact with each other. So it's a lot of things that you can do, especially in children in early childhood education, just teaching children about animals. You can do that with nursery rhymes to teach them songs, things that will help them be engaged. You can also use bright and colorful books. And also it's even good to involve other children their age to help participate, because you want that interaction, because children with disabilities tend to, withdraw from the crowd. They withdraw from their peers, and we don't want that, because students will begin to be disengaged and have a dislike for school. So we don't want them to do that. So it's very important that we are able to intervene at an early age with helping students and finding unique ways, as you know, during storytelling time, allowing them to listen to music, allowing them to even have play dates, just so they can have that social interaction with other children. And they need a lot of that. So also, I think that's basically all that I have on today. Is that's what I got out of it. I just learned a little bit more about children with developmental delays. Sometimes also they'll have vision impairment. So I do want to say this before I end. Even moving children closer to the board so they're able to see, versus sitting in the back of classroom. So it's certain ways you can arrange your room as well to help students. So in this critique and in this article, it really just gives you a lot of helpful ideals and things you can do in helping students become more engaged by planning, making early intervention, by planning all these different play dates, and also being able to understand that children with disabilities, it comes from a broad spectrum. It's not no certain disability, but it's several different disabilities that can affect the person. So that's all I have for you today, and thank you so much.